Look at us.
Look at us. We're just a couple of rural gals trying to create community and entertain. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Annaliese, and we're Egg's most okayest farm girls. Grab a drink. We're here to help. The show must go on. Courtney, we are live. How are you?
Just great. Everything's working perfectly as usual.
You're having a day. I've had
a week.
Days.
Yep.
That's all right. We've got a fun little chit chat today. I'm just going to go.
Is it fun? Is it fun, Annaliese?
We'll put a trigger warning out there. You might get angry with this episode. This one is for the ladies, which I feel like our podcast is always for the ladies, but this one is all about being a woman in a male-dominated industry or being a woman in agriculture. We reached out to our followers and they shared some stories with us, and some of them will probably make you want to rip a man's balls off.
I'm going to get pissed. I got real mad reading through these, but
yeah,
I still think we should talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. And I did actually get some positive ones. So we'll lead with the ones that will make you angry. We will end with the ones that are more positive, and hopefully you'll leave feeling better. Funny story. I was with my siblings this weekend, and my brother-in-law was like, Annaliese, what's your podcast about? Is it just a podcast about hating men? And I was like, no, it's not a men-hating podcast. It's a podcast where we support women. And Tom's like, so that's just a nicer way of saying you hate men. I'm like, we don't hate on them all the time, but today we might be hating on them.
Well, actually, guess what? Spoiler alert, there's a few women that we're going to be hating on too.
Ooh, all right. All right.
They were being a little bit dirty also. So
interesting.
I've got a few stories.
Okay. I don't know what it is about how I was raised, maybe, but I do like making men feel uncomfortable and inferior. I don't know if I've ever told you this story. We were at Menards once, Tom and I, and we backed up to the mulch and we were going to start loading up a bunch of bags of mulch into the back of the truck. And there was a guy there who very much looked like a city fella, just based upon the way he was dressed. And he had these cute little garden gloves on, and he was loading bags of mulch into his minivan one by one. And I said to Tom, you just stay in the truck, hon. I got this. And I walk up beside this city boy and I start loading the bags of mulch 2 by 2 just to make him feel like a little bitch.
Absolutely love that. And would have done the same.
Oh, I just can't help myself.
I remember I was at Menards a couple years ago and I had a list of different lumber I wanted for, I think it was for the greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, oh, did your husband send you with the list? Do you need help? And I looked at him and I was like, it's my list, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then he watched me unload a bunch of 2x4s, were like 12 footers, and he just stood there and stared.
You're like, look
okay,
at these
cool.
Look at these muscles.
I mean, I don't need your help, but also I don't need you to stare at me. This is awkward.
So another funny story about being a woman is I know I am capable of doing anything. I can do anything. But as my husband just pointed out the other day, do I want to do everything? There's some light bulbs that needed to be changed around here. And I said, who's the man of the house? Who's, you're slacking on changing the light bulbs. And he's like, you just, went on Instagram slamming men saying women don't need no men and that you can do anything. Why aren't you changing this light bulb? And I was like, there is a difference between doing, I know I can do everything, but do I
just don't want to.
No, that's why I have a husband. You take out the trash. You change the light bulbs. If I didn't have you, I would do it.
Right. We just want you to know we can do it. We just don't want to.
Absolutely. We just want to be treated as equals. And that's what today's conversation is all about. Should we get right into some of the stories we've heard about being a lady in ag?
Let's get pissed off. You want to start?
Sure. This person wrote in and said, I was big in egg sales. High pressure. I talked to men all day. Vets, cattle farmers, hired hands, CEOs. The competition was strong. And they thought I was getting all of this business and saying her success was all due to her sleeping and or flirting with the men she was doing business with. She said, super fun, but when I got my sales check at the end of the year, I laughed all the way to the bank.
Hell yeah, girl.
But that's
so annoying.
Yeah.
I have a story just like that too.
Do you?
Yeah. We had switched feed mills to a more local one. I am the one that usually does our feed pickups. The owner had flirted with me every time, and I refused to give him the attention. Then I found out from a friend that uses the same feed mill, the flirty owner had talked shit about me and was telling people my husband only married me for my boobs. We ended up withdrawing our business with him and switched to another feed mill farther away. That first feed mill eventually had to close the business because so many people complained about the owner and refused to use them. A little different story, but still, I mean, just saying her husband's with her for her boobs, or she's doing well in sales because she's sleeping around. Like,
God
really?
forbid she's actually good at what she does, or smart, or,
and trying to make a living.
I know a couple weeks ago we talked about big dick energy. This is little dick energy. When you are feeling scared or, inferior to a woman, and then you go and blame it on her body or about her being a woman, it's because you have a little dick. You have little dick energy.
Exactly. You're so insecure.
Yes.
That's the only reason why. That's what it boils down to. Men and women who put others down. It's just about their insecurities and little dicks.
Right. Men and women. You said you had some stories where women were?
Yeah, I have got a couple. Yup. So today I had to cut loose a friend because she keeps unvaluing my work and effort on the farm. She keeps making "must be nice to not have to work" comments. Bye, bish. Onwards and upwards, positive vibes only. Farm girls kick ass. We need support, not snide quips.
I hate when people say "must be nice" because you have no idea what somebody has been through to get to where they are today.
Right?
Where they're at today might look easy and simple, but they worked to get where they are.
Not only what they've gone through, but what they're currently going through. You have no idea what their days look like.
Instead of saying "it must be nice," you should say "I'm so proud of you. Look at you now."
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Yes. Good Lord.
Ugh.
I got another woman one somewhere in here.
Okay.
I ran my now husband's tractor and wagon all summer and fall while chopping one year. Still do when needed. That year, we also did some custom work in the area. All the old farmers in the neighborhood were so impressed and had only nice things to say, to my face in parentheses. But at a neighbor's farm, the wife made a snotty comment. I heard his little girlfriend was driving today and I wasn't sure she could handle it, but she's actually doing okay. To me and some of the crew while I'm standing right there. Like, bitch, what the fuck? I wanted to leave.
Yeah, she's actually doing okay. How rude.
Little girlfriend.
Yeah.
Fuck you. God damn it. I'm so mad already.
Okay, here are some funny ones. These ones all just made me laugh. They're all three are from the same person. I loved every one of them. So first she wrote, as a young girl, we were working calves at our branding, rope and drag style. As a young kid, I was, of course, curious. And when I saw the castration process and asked questions, I proceeded to shout, "Sure doesn't pay to have nuts around here, does it?" People still bring this story up, and I have coined myself as Cassidy the Castrator.
Oh my God, I love that.
Then she wrote, my mom was on a county fair board, and she was the only woman on that board. She wasn't feeling particularly heard in one of the meetings. So next time they had a meeting, she sewed a 2-pouch golf bag. You can imagine the shape in a pink color, LOL. And before the next meeting, she laid them on the table and said, "Here, now I have a set of balls too, so hopefully my thoughts will be treated equal."
Oh, I love that.
No, I was like, your mom.
What a kick-ass woman.
Yes, your mom sounds awesome.
I bet that got their attention too.
I bet it did. And then she wrote, my dad had 3 girls, and of course, everyone would make comments about it. I started saying I can do everything a man can do, and I don't have nuts to get in the way.
So true.
Yeah, I think I talked a little bit about this before. I grew up with 2 younger sisters, so I never experienced much of that. Like, my dad and my grandpa were super supportive of all of us coming back to the farm, taught us how to drive truck and trailer, like do anything and everything if I did have a brother, would do. And I think maybe that's why I'm such a little turd now. I don't know.
Such a turd.
Well, that's why I'm like at Menards showing these boys how to,
lift mulch
2x2.
Here, I got a few more.
Okay.
I started dating a farmer with the goal to one day be farming alongside. My parents, who both grew up on farms, always ask how, in quotations, playing farmer's wife is going. Like, I love farming and hope to do it all day, every day if I could. This isn't playing, it's real work.
Yeah, playing farmer's wife.
Especially if they grew up on farms, they should know better.
Right.
We don't play, girl. It's hard
Wow.
fit.
This person wrote, my dad hired a guy that was roughly 25 years or so older than me. For years, I was in charge of our plots for our business. We're sales reps for Pioneer Seeds. And my dad always made him help me plant the plots every year. I didn't like this guy. He gave me the creeps and he's rude. When we were planting the plots, he would never listen to me. He literally ignored me and would only talk to the other guy helping us. Then later on, I had to go with this guy to get signatures from customers, and he straight up told me that he is sexist and that women belong in the home and nowhere else. Yeah, this is these are the bad apples. These are the people I really have problems with, because then they're going to go on and have kids and teach their sons to act this way.
Right.
So much that old school mentality. And I think I do let some shit slide with like older generations because that's the way they were taught. But this day and age, come on, it is 2024.
Right. The cycle stops here.
Yeah.
Okay? We need to do better. We know better now.
I know. Something else that got brought up a lot in the DMs I received was just like shop talk too, or just the way men think it's okay to talk about women. And I've experienced this firsthand. You know, we work with a custom harvesting crew for our corn silage and haylage. And during corn silage harvest, at the end of the day, we used to always, meet in the shop, have beers, shoot the breeze. It's actually like a lot of fun. But there was this one guy that used to always help out who was super freaking annoying, and every single year he would tell the same stupid like wife-hating joke and just think it was so funny. And I think it was year 3 of him telling this joke. He told it and I went, never heard that one before. And actually like everybody started laughing because even the other guys were so annoyed with this guy saying this joke. And I hate wife-hating jokes.
I know.
Because
they're annoying.
He's supposed to be your best friend.
Yeah, we're a team.
Yeah.
Luckily, I did hear quite a few examples of husbands shutting down that behavior.
Ooh, yeah.
Whether it be salespeople coming in with that attitude or whatever. I got a few stories that said this is a zero bullshit place. Like, we will not do business with you if you carry on like this. So
good. That makes me happy. Yeah. My father-in-law is basically a caveman when it comes to technology. And when my husband is trying to explain something to his dad that involves technology, I'll chime in to try and explain things better. And his dad acts as if I'm not even there. Or really, I guess, anytime there's tension between my husband and his dad and I try to like mediate, I'm just ignored as if I'm an ignorant child. And I said, that's tough, especially when it's family. You know?
You can't just cut the person out a lot of times. I wonder what the husband, how he reacts. Like, I think he needs to get some balls and be like, hey.
Did you hear what she said?
Yeah, don't disrespect her. Oh, I got a good one. When interning, I was told by my mentor, who was a guy, that I'd never survive in the industry being a female. I was also best friends with his son and still am best friends. So not like I was never going to see him again. That statement follows me every day and pushes me to want to prove him wrong.
That's good. It's good that she got like something positive out of it, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch me go.
Yeah, use it to fuel that fire inside of you.
Fuel your hate fire. You ever watched, what is that, Pitch Perfect? The first Pitch Perfect, right? She's like, it's fueling my hate fire.
I've never seen that movie, but.
What?
I know.
Never watched Pitch Perfect?
No.
I demand you watch it.
Is it chick flicky though? I don't like those. I don't like those.
Oh my gosh. No, you will laugh. You will love it. It's your kind of humor, I promise.
Okay. I didn't know. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Watch it. We'll come back to this. Okay. Sidebar. I'm not surprised by the amount of negativity we got, even though, like we said, it is 2024 and people should know better. I'm not surprised. We did get a lot of positive things too. I had someone write in, I feel badass for playing a key role in contributing to the world's food supply. Farming is not for the weak, so as a woman, it makes me feel strong knowing that I can do the same job that men have been doing for generations before me. Also, as a young female farmer, I know that I empower other young women to get involved in agriculture when otherwise they wouldn't feel like they were able to. And I was like, hell yeah, girl.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
I had another positive one. She said, I'll share my experience of being in a male-dominated industry. It's been a positive experience. Do I have to prove myself each day? Of course. But I'm also not ashamed to leave some jobs to the guys, like fixing anything with an engine. I know that's not my thing. I know I don't know it all. I know to tell someone when I hear a funny noise or if a wheel looks like it may fall off, but that's about it. I'll stick to fixing the four-legged creatures. And I said that's a really good perspective. Knowing what you're good at and what your strengths are and feeling confident there and not taking any bullshit, but also knowing when something is out of your wheelhouse and you need to ask for help.
The positive one that I received is I was raised in the barn with my dad. He developed and brought out all the good and wonderful things a woman offers to everyday farm tasks. The phrase, damn woman driver, meant damn that girl can drive. Dad taught me how to run equipment slowly and efficiently, and today I am 100 times better tractor operator than my brother. I break way less shit. I also had the best mentor in my grandmother. That lady could cook an amazing meal, mow hay, feed heifers, and make a parts run all before 12 most days. She got shit done. Period. I'm a grown-ass, strong, independent wife mom because she showed me how to work. Soon after my dad passed, my husband instilled a 0% bullshit tolerance to all the salespeople and maintenance crews that come to our small dairy farm. My wife is in charge. You speak to her or leave. His confidence in my abilities enable me to deal with situations at the tire store, the feed stores. Us ladies in agriculture and all industries need to know our strengths, not our weaknesses.
I love that. Those are the type of people we need in this world. When everybody is on the same page, when everybody supports everybody and just teaches you to be a better, stronger person. Hell yeah.
Yes.
I actually had someone write in asking, is the egg industry really a male-dominated industry still at this point? So I did Google it. As far as the egg industry as a whole, I couldn't find a statistic, but in 2017, the number of female producers totaled 38% of the industry. So it's growing. Again, that's 2017, and I don't know what that number would look like as just the egg industry as a whole. But from a producer standpoint, 38% of farms have at least one woman on there making decisions.
Heck yeah. I also wonder, back in the day, if those numbers are not very accurate because they probably didn't consider the women farmers, even though they're doing all the same things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a very good point. They just didn't have that
title.
Value or title. Or being a lady is hard, but also being a lady is pretty awesome. I'm proud to be one. Proud to know so many of them. And actually, our sponsor of today's episode is actually a pretty badass bitch. Hilary Hoff is a financial planner and a neighbor, a friend of mine. We have a short little interview with her after this. But I know, Courtney, you just had a conversation with her not too long ago.
Yeah. We hopped on a call just to get to know each other. And I could kind of hear what she does. My experience with her, so warm and inviting. She's my type of gal. I ended the phone call with a really, in an awkward way. I was just okay, bye. And then exited out. And then I immediately messaged her and I was I'm sorry.
I'm a weirdie.
I'm a weirdo. And she was no, you're my person. Yeah. You're my people. And I was yes, that's the kind of gal that I want to work with. Someone that I feel comfortable with and, can just shoot the shit with me.
Right.
Not make me feel like a weirdo.
Yeah. Her and I, in the short little conversation we had that you'll hear in just a bit, she just made me realize that financially planning for yourself or budgeting or, just taking the time to know what the hell you're doing with your money is a form of self-care. Because if you're not like doing it properly or taking the time, like it can be a real burden, right? And when you talk with someone who knows what the hell they're doing and can help you reach your specific goals, it makes you feel so much lighter. You feel so much smarter, so much more confident. To everyone out there, if you don't have a financial advisor or someone helping you with your budgeting, your finances, like listen to this interview with Hilary, take a minute to get to know her, and then set up an exploratory call with her. You're going to love her.
Yeah, immediately loved her.
Immediately?
Immediately, yes.
Immediately, yes. Immediately. Any final thoughts on being a gal in the egg world?
Hang in there, ladies.
Hang in there.
We got to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the message here.
Yes, stick together, support one another. Don't be one of them hussies that's saying, oh, looks like Tommy's girlfriend did a pretty okay job driving the tractor.
Are you done playing farm wife?
Don't be one of those people. Be one of the people that we heard in so many stories today that are supporting and teaching and encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, enjoy this little chitty chat with Hilary. This is a real treat because I have a guest in my home. I've never recorded a podcast with somebody in person. Today, I have my friend and my neighbor, Hilary, with me. She is actually the sponsor of today's episode, and it seemed so fitting because we're talking about being a female in a male-dominated industry, being a badass bitch, and she is one of the most badass bitches I know. So, Hilary, please introduce yourself and tell people what it is you do.
Hello, I am Hilary Hoff, and this is a treat for me too, because here I am having my morning coffee with the modern day farm chick. I always tell people, like, I'm friends with the modern day farm chick, so feel kind of famous. But it, like Annaliese said, we're neighbors. I grew up by her husband, and so rural farm girl. We raise Texas Longhorns and horses, married with 2 kiddos, and I run a financial planning practice. My mission has always been to support badass women, high energy individuals, whether they have a rural art or, they just have big goals and dreams. And there's, not enough women in finance, just like there's not enough women in agriculture. And so always want to just be someone that can support them in a wide variety of ways.
Yeah, the older I've gotten, the more I realize how important having a financial plan is. Like, and I know nothing. Courtney and I actually just talked about this. I think it was the last episode. We're like, by the time we were this age, we thought we would know more about what to do with our money. And we don't, which is why it's so important to have somebody like you in your back pocket. So just talk a little bit more about how you can help people.
Individuals come in or jump on a Zoom and think like, oh man, like this is a hard conversation to have. Like I should know this stuff. And sometimes you have a lot of guilt or shame associated with money, right? It's like we talk a lot about the psychology of money. It's always a judgment-free zone. And what I've found over my time doing this, even personally, I always share with people, my husband and I were actually clients before I started my own practice. And I worked in corporate finance for 10 years prior. So, with an accounting degree and working in corporate finance, you'd probably think I knew what I was doing. I didn't. I had no idea. And that's why we sought professional help. And once we had a plan built for us and we were educated, I wanted to help more people. And so it really doesn't matter if you're a highly educated physician or if you work in a factory or you are a teacher, like it doesn't matter the industry. I find it across the board. No one knows what they're doing. There's a huge lack of education around this stuff. Even as an accounting major, I think this is just criminal, but I took one finance class in college.
Mm-hmm.
What? This is just not how it should be. Like no one knows how to do their taxes. No one knows. So typically, if you come in, we're just going to get to know each other. I'm not for everybody, right? Like you want to find a financial advisor that you can click with and that you can build trust. So the first thing, right, is just come in, see if we're a good fit. I want to share more about specifically how we could help, but then really just learn more about you. What are your goals? What do you want? Because this isn't a one size fits all. Everyone has different goals and dreams. And so whether it's building your farm and building your business, or whether it's retiring early or saving for your kiddos, like everyone has different values and that's okay. So we just want to learn more about you and help you feel empowered to make decisions that are going to get you where you want to be. So the first thing is really just conversational. Let's learn a little bit more about each other. And if it makes sense to work together, let's build you a financial plan, right? Give you the tools to show you what you need to do to help you be successful with whatever that means to you. So, we follow the board's standards with a lot of that. So, it's not just, hey, we're just going to talk about investments. It might be budgeting. It might be investments. It's across the board, really no expectations. Just the first step is, I think, starting the conversation.
I love that. Like just being comfortable with it, and you make it so easy and so comfortable. Like you said, it's a no judgment zone. It's a no one size fits all situation. You just really want to help women feel empowered, men and women. We're going to link in the show notes all of your information. There'll be a link that if you want to set up an exploratory call with Hilary, get to know each other a little bit better, decide if you want to work together, that'll be there. I can tell you straight up, hilary'sthebomb.com. You should work with her. Thank you, Hilary.
Thank you. And, just to be clear, like the discovery call is completely free with Modern Day Farm Chick, right? Teaming up with her, like anyone that goes through that link, it's a free call to just see if we're a good fit. So no expectations or anything there. We're really excited to help more people and see if we can support you.
You told me the reason you wanted to sponsor this podcast was because you want to get to know more rural women who are entrepreneurs, because you're like, those are the people that I want to work with. And that's why this was just such an amazing fit.
Totally. Self-care, I'm a big hey, let's use leverage. Let's, make sure you're taking care of yourself. And so, Annaliese and I just booked a day at the spa in a couple weeks. So self-care means getting a massage, taking time for yourself, working out. But finances too, right? It's not always the most exciting thing to talk about. But what I find is so many women feel this huge weight lifted off their shoulders once they just start the conversation. It sometimes can feel like this black cloud hanging out. It's like, hey, this feels important, but it's not urgent. I'll worry about it later. But it's never too soon to start taking control of this stuff and just getting more education. So self-care, if you're drinking a glass of wine or Crown during a meeting, no judgment, it can just be conversational. And again, we want to empower women because so many of us get sucked into our day to day, whether it's, we're working on the farm or we're taking care of running after our kids and just trying to keep our kids alive. Days, weeks, years fly. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I found that I connect so well with women and a lot of people just, in the rural community, because I'm one of you and want to just make sure you feel empowered.
I love that you consider financial planning self-care. It's so true, but to have that weight lifted off your shoulders with anything, it's a relief. So you heard it here first. Financial planning is self-care. Go take care of your business, ladies. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us today.
If you had as much fun as we did, would you do us a favor and share this episode with a friend?
Speaking of friends, can we all be friends over on the Instagram? You can find me at @ModFarmChick.
And me at Mrs. Green Pastures Cattle.
See you next week, guys.